Right, guys, week 7 was in the books. I'm a little bit late getting this beta files up because it was a bit of a weak week. Strong as far as getting things done, but definitely a weak mindset week. So week 7 was a little weak, but progress-wise, it was pretty fantastic. The problem was, as I write in my book, A Tale of Two Realtors, chapter 5, frequency snuck in, and the lack of certainty and just scarcity mindset. For some reason, a lot of my memories were popping up from 8 or 9 years ago when I started We Just Closed. So like I started thinking, man, I spent so many hours, I spent so many years, I spent probably $100,000 or more trying to get that off the ground. Lost partners, literally, physically, and off this planet. Two of them passed away for different reasons. So I guess that started to sneak back in, and I was having a little bit of a pity party, but we pivoted out of that. Even though we were still super productive. We had a great week. We're getting quotes to grow the zip market, which I'm not going to tell you what that really is yet, but that will be able to let our members grow, scale, and increase. Actually, they'll have a stream of income, which no one's even ever thought of before. So not going to get too big into that, but we're like finalizing and fine tweaking that. So it's not too big of a brand new idea, but just enough so we can roll it out where it makes sense. It's easy to understand and easy to implement for everybody that's going to be involved in the zip market, which is Mr. Zip Code, the zip market. Came up with a ton of new SOPs for our members, which will be available for everybody, just for scripts. Built out a ton more of the built for you, basically the done for you content. So day one, our members will have 30 days scripts to becoming the preeminent path to becoming the preeminent realtor. 60 days to preeminence, the action steps, everyday videos to put out to become the authority, the preeminent realtor in your market, in your city, your county, wherever your membership level is. Came up with some cool gear: red, white, and sold, red, white, and hyper local. Just a lot of cool things, man. Ironed out the details for the my partner for Mr. Artificial Intelligence, how we can give all Mr. Zip Code that tech stack at a decent rate without increasing the membership fees too much, but also pulling Mr. Artificial Intelligence out so that the general public and home service providers and everybody in all the zip codes out there running businesses can also utilize the technology that we've built. And if you guys as members, affiliates, refer that in, there's a way for you guys to create income too, recurring. So we finalized that a little bit. I met with potentially one of our members of Mr. Monmouth County Real Estate Team, my team in Monmouth County. Hopefully we'll be bringing on Mr. Redbank, aka Mr. 07701. Great business owner, not even licensed yet, but saw the idea, saw that, wow, if he could be the preeminent realtor, he already has a big brand in Red Bank. Why not take his next step into real estate, which, no brainer, right? I call that the end factor. He's already locally known for his one business. Now, if he ties that business into real estate, it's like day one preeminence, day one branding. Now you're attaching your celebrity capital for your one business, and you're tying it into our branding and our biohacking branding and our tech stack system. So that was a pretty cool meeting. We'll see how that goes. God, we added so many crazy things, 4 in the morning ideas, Captain Area Codes. So we've added Mr. Area Codes is the hyper focused division of Mr. Zip Code, which will be really pushing in 2027, but we'll be offering it to anybody who doesn't want to practice hyper local real estate, or maybe they're growing their team and they know they have a great 55 plus expert or a waterfront expert. So Mr. 55 plus, Mrs. Water Views. That's, so we've added a bunch of branding there. So now there's just not the captain and now there's the Mr. and the doctor. So Mr. Home Services, Dr. Driveways. Now we've added the captain titles, the lieutenant, the colonel, the sergeant. So there's going to be so many more brands that a Mr. Area Code real estate team leader, like Mr. 732 or Mr. 908, can grow his team underneath that with first right of refusal if somebody else comes along and wants it. Because we have hundreds of brands under each area code under Mr. Area Codes. If you haven't checked that out yet, go there, but it's not perfect yet, MrAreaCodes.com. But the funny part is, while this week was fantastic, obviously we got a lot done, I did have that frequency mindset. I was pumping that energy, that negative energy, really stressed, kind of just, I have a few real estate personal deals for my hyper-local real estate practice in Middletown as Mr. Middletown, going a little, just being dragged out. I mean, everything this year seems to be dragged out for dumb shit. So that was really stressful. Obviously spending a lot of money and everything here. So every dollar, every bit of income helps grow this faster and quicker. So yeah, I mean, I was having was in a bad spot. So I was meeting with potentially Mr. Redbank, and he was like, hey, can I get one of the books? So I wrote in the book, one of my favorite lines is, and I'm taking this right now to the, which I got from a real estate closing. Everything I have in my house is from a real estate closing. Taking that to the sign guy that's building out the QR code digital camo wrap for the truck. And he's putting on that sign, keep fucking going. So that's one of my favorite sayings. We're going to have that sign available for all our members too. But I wrote in the book, keep fucking going. And I was like, keep fucking growing. Because I think I needed it more than, I was writing it in his book. But I think I needed to say it more than I needed to write it for him. So all that was going on, it was a great meeting and all. But so while I was having this pity party, trying to grow everything and figure out how the fuck I'm going to do this, pretty much as a solo entrepreneur, solopreneur, with a lot of good partners now, more than I ever had. But I still have that that we just closed relapse mindset, not imposter syndrome, because I believe I've built this amazing thing. I've done the work. I am, very confident in who I am, but I haven't, in one of my books I write, it's impossible syndrome. Sometimes it just feels like the goal is just too big. It's too wide. So it's not imposter syndrome I struggle with. It's impossible syndrome, because if I don't have momentum going every day, if I stop or the fucking computer crashes, or like last week, the phone died and that just tied up everything. If I can't keep pushing that boulder up the hill, the second that boulder stops, the momentum stops, it starts coming back on you. So that's what I was going through this week while I was trying to get all this shit done and wake up 4 a.m. We created Zip Vader, Mr. Zip Code's arch enemy. We created the Notorious ZIP, which is the hilarious, our take on Notorious BIG for Mr. Zip Code to promote cool stuff. We expanded on the Dr. Zip Code stuff, so you see those videos coming out, and how we'll be discussing the time of death, the cause of death of real estate deals, the real estate careers of realtors, what they did wrong, and also the real estate relationships, because real estate is I call it a profession. It's a very personal profession, because we're dealing with our friends, our families, sometimes my best deals are when I don't know the person. They're just referred to me because there's no additional layers to that relationship. I could just be straightforward, and this is the process. So yeah. So while I was going through this tough week, Saturday I was having a couple drinks. Maybe I drank a little bit too much this week too. That's probably why I was having it even spiral more. So I'm trying to get to the point where we cut that out big time, because it obviously, I call it, for years I was on booze control because I was bartending and real estate. There's always a reason to drink, always a reason to celebrate. If you're depressed, always a reason to, deal dies, you drink. If you get a listing, you drink with the client. So we're trying to get that to a minimum and get myself on cruise control. But while I was having a few drinks on Saturday night, and I was in this mindset of frequency and scarcity. I put up drink a beer because I've been thinking about my father. It was just his birthday a few weeks, October 20th, and there's a lot of stuff in there about my dad in the book. So these books have drummed up a lot of personal feelings and stuff that I hadn't thought about or dealt with. So I popped on Luke Bryan and drank a beer. And I'm watching this Luke Bryan concert from 2014 or 2014. And I'm like, wait a minute, Chris Stapleton wrote this. I know that for a fact. And then I'm watching the video and I'm like, wait a minute. The backup singers behind Luke Bryan is Chris Stapleton and this other guy. But the point is, I'm like, and you could see like Chris Stapleton's body language was just like not Chris Stapleton, right? Because he's not yet Chris Stapleton who we know. He's Chris Stapleton who he knows, and he's thinking like, man, I'm almost there. Here I am. I'm singing behind Luke Bryan, the song that I wrote, behind him on stage, but he's dark. You can't really see. If you didn't know who he was now, you'd be like, he's just a backup guy. So it was so powerful because then I Googled it. I said, when did Chris Stapleton break out? It was 2015. That's when he did the performance with Justin Timberlake on whatever it was. One of the award shows. I thought like, wow, man, that's who I am right now. Like he didn't have imposter syndrome because he knew he's an amazing songwriter. He's been writing songs for guys in Nashville for years, for like 14 or 15 years. But he probably had impossible syndrome. He was like, how do I break out? How do I become the guy singing my songs? And it was so powerful to see that video. So God must have just decided to pop that video on when I hit YouTube looking for drink a beer or whatever I stumbled across. But I mean, to see his demeanor and him being just the backup singer and now being who he is. In early 2000s, I went to the Jason Aldean show at PNC Arts Center in Homedale, and Luke Bryan opened for Jason Aldean. I was like, wow, this guy's puts on a show. He's energetic. He's awesome. I guarantee one day Jason Aldean will open for Luke Bryan, and I had seen that happen. And here I am thinking like, it's not far-fetched to think that if it hasn't happened already, that Luke Bryan will open for Chris Stapleton one day, or at least whatever, introduce him. But so the point of the thing is to keep fucking going and keep fucking growing. This was a weak mentally. Week mentally for me, but it was a powerful week for getting shit done and trusting the process, because I sat there Saturday and I'm like videoing it and I'm taking pictures of it because I'm like, what's the chances that when I'm going through probably one of the roughest weeks mentally, trying to build this out and get this done by January 1st, our first day of our beta year, 2026, that I see somebody else that's sitting there probably suffering with impossible syndrome. So we'll call this week's episode, or this beta file, Impossible Syndrome Proven Wrong, maybe. Anyway, guys, this is the longest beta files I've done because we've done a lot. I wanted to show you how much we've done, but you can still get a lot done and have a bad mindset while you're doing it. The whole point is to keep fucking going and keep fucking growing. Thanks, guys. See ya next week on week 8 of the beta files. Mr. Zip Code, the United Zip Codes of America.